Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda Marsalis. Welcome to Heard It on the Shark. I'll be your show host, and Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area is your show sponsor. Heard It on the Shark is a weekly interview show that airs every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi. Then it's released as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. You'll hear interviews with the movers and shakers in North Mississippi who are making things happen. I'll talk to entrepreneurs, leaders of business, medicine, education, and the people behind all the amazing things happening in North Mississippi. When people ask you, how did you know about that? You'll say, I heard it on the Shark. Heard It on the Shark is brought to you by the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area. We want you to get out and discover the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of the Mississippi Hills that are right in your backyard. And of course, we want you to take the Shark 102.3 FM along for the ride. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark. And today in Sun Bear Studio, I'm really excited to have Mr. Clark Richey, who is the owner of Six Shooter Studios that's based over in Baldwyn. And they are doing an exciting project. I'll just wait until we hear it from Clark what he has up his sleeve. Now, I've interviewed Clark several times before on this show. He's always doing something fun. There's always something really great for Mississippi happening with Clark. So I'm super excited to tell you about this one. Clark, thanks for coming back.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
So let's just start from the top.
Right.
Tell what you're doing.
Okay. We are producing a television series, 8 episodes for Mississippi Public Broadcasting entitled Tallahatchie. And what we're doing is we're telling the story of the Tallahatchie River from ancient times right up to modern day, and talking about the uniqueness of the region, all the historic events that have happened in the region, and then the important people that have arisen from this part of the country.
And this all came about because a few years ago, the legislature approved the Tallahatchie River Authority. Is that close to correct?
That's correct. The Tallahatchie River Authority represents 8 counties in Mississippi, starting with Tippah. It's Tippah, Union, Lafayette, Marshall, Quitman, Panola, Tallahatchie, and LaFleur. It goes all the way from Ripley down to Greenwood.
So only 2 of those counties, Union and Tippah, are under our Shark terrestrial signal, but all of those are really technically up here in North Mississippi. So it's just how the river runs from beginning to end, right?
That's correct. It starts at, your husband Chris told me that Tallahatchie River started at Dumas Lake.
That's
so I went to
right.
Dumas Lake and I found where it started, and he was absolutely correct. And so I found the start of the Tallahatchie at Dumas Lake. I went south and followed it all through those counties. It goes through every one of those counties. You could really say the last 2 counties over there, maybe the last 3, Quitman, Tallahatchie, and LaFleur, are really Delta counties, and the others are Hill Country counties.
Okay, and the river, we don't really think about the Tallahatchie as here in Tippah County as much of a river. It's small up through here, right?
You know, you always hear about the Tallahatchie Bridge.
Right.
Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the
Yes.
Tallahatchie Bridge. Well,
Yes.
the first Tallahatchie Bridge is a culvert at Dumas. That's the very first Tallahatchie Bridge on the river. By the time you get to Greenwood, it's a big river.
You got this Tallahatchie River running through 8 counties, and the Tallahatchie River Authority was created to emphasize that for tourism, for just awareness.
Tourism and development. Tourism and economic development in those regions. The purpose of our show is to generate an interest in historic tourism, but it's not a travel log. It's a story about the history and importance of the region involving William Faulkner, Bobby Gentry, Charlie Pride, the Chickasaw Session, all the things that happened, the Civil War, Civil Rights Movement. Really, this region and the way I'm approaching the program is I'm describing this region as a microcosm of American history. Almost every important event that played out in the history of America, a major portion of that event played out between Tippah and LaFleur County. And I think that's very unique in America. And so I propose that to the Tallahatchie River Authority, and they thought that was a good idea, so here we are.
Well, William Faulkner said you can't understand the world until you understand Mississippi. So here we are again with that being true.
Absolutely true. And, we'll be telling the story of Colonel William Clark Faulkner from here in Tippah County and the founding of Blue Mountain College, all the way through the last king of Mississippi was Ishtiotopa, and Kings Creek in Union County is named for him. And there's just so much history that you find here in this region. And we're telling it as a single tale, one interconnected tale told from the perspective of the river, which I think is a really unique way to look at it.
I love that so much. And so each episode will be a county?
That's not the way we're going to do it. We're going to do each episode as a chronological history. So we're going to start with the ancient times and the Chickasaws and the Choctaws. That's episode 1. Then we go to Civil War. Then we go to Reconstruction. And then we go to the Blues era, William Faulkner, Civil Rights, Tallahatchie, A New South, and then Tallahatchie today. So that's the 8 episodes. And each one of those is very unique. We've got assembled a incredible number of scholars and authors and celebrities that we'll be interviewing. More than 70 interviews we'll be conducting for this show.
Okay, one of the reasons I love everything that you do is because you're so thorough, it's so historic, it's so accurate and packed with information. So tell about when you're going to film.
We're beginning photography in Oxford on September the 22nd, and we're going to film all the way up to November 1st, and we close with a concert, a rap party concert in New Albany at the Magnolia Theater there on November the 1st. And Steve Azar will be there on November the 1st, and the Mississippi Junebug Band will also be performing.
That's pretty authentic and fantastic for Mississippi.
No one knew that until I just said that, but it was a secret. I don't know if I was supposed to have told that yet, but that's our closing night, and it'll be in New Albany on November 1st.
Okay, Shark fans, don't tell anybody quite yet. You keep it to yourselves. Okay, and then you wrap up production, or I guess you wrap up filming November 1.
November 1st is principal photography, and then it'll take a couple of months, maybe more, to edit, 2 or 3 months to edit. We're going to try to be done and have it released to Mississippi Public Broadcasting by January 31st, but that's totally self-imposed, and there is no set broadcast date yet, just spring or summer of 2026.
What if people want to learn more about this, maybe get involved, volunteer to help the project? Is there a way for them to do that?
Well, probably not volunteer, but they can follow along with the progress of it on Facebook. We have our Six Shooter Studios Facebook page, and we also have Tallahatchie, the TV series, Facebook page. So you can find both of those on Facebook, and we'll be posting a lot of information there as we proceed through the project.
Okay, Clark, once again, thank you so much. We are indebted to you for putting your talents to work here in North Mississippi, and you're going to put us on the map. One of these days, we're going to really be famous.
You know, everywhere we've gone, I've scouted every county, and I'm back over here in Tippah County I think this is our 3rd time our productions come over here and looked around. And every county, every Main Street office, they're all very, very excited. It's really going to be good for the region. It tells the story of the region, ending in an uplifting, positive portrayal of the Tallahatchie River region of Mississippi, and it's a good thing.
Shark fans, that's it for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to find out what's happening with our local community leaders. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you want access to this interview, you can find it at our website, shark1023.com, when you click on the podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 1023 and have a great rest of the day.
The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area was established by the United States Congress in 2009 and represents a distinctive cultural landscape shaped by the dynamic intersection of Appalachian and Delta cultures. This intersection has produced a powerful concentration of nationally significant cultural icons, including King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley, First Lady of Country Music Tammy Wynette, blues legend Howlin' Wolf, civil rights icons Ida B. Wells Barnett and James Meredith, America's favorite playwright Tennessee Williams, and Nobel laureate William Faulkner. The stories of the Mississippi Hills are many and powerful, from music and literature to Native American and African American heritage to the Civil War. The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area supports the local institutions that preserve and share Northeast Mississippi's rich heritage. Begin your discovery of the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of our region by visiting the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area online at mississippiHills.org.